Like percussion and filter kicks at a rolling rhythm. Across the stereo field. Rapid snare rolls and ascending arpeggiates synths. White noise riser increases tension. Rage, rage, rage. The silence just before the drop. Distorted bass hits with wobble modulation. Bunty kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Shoves and stabs and glitch effects you weak energy. Layered bass stutters create chaos and hype. Beat strips down to filtered pads and sub-hum. Whispered vocal charging, unleash the rage. Minimal glitch, percussion adds texture. Bass hits harder with layered growls and modulation. Faster hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares drive momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass slam fading into static. Page and the jigs slowly fade. Final vocal ends on a deep sub-rumble fading into silence. Amp range initiated. Paints all still rumble fading into silence.
Electric crackle and transformer hum as vocals and kick and set bass rumble. Metallic percussive hits and go in stereo. Rising arpeggiates sync with filter sweeps. Rapid snare rolls layered with white noise riser. Vocal top stuttering and voltage. Momentary silence before impact. Distorted bass with heavy side aggressive plucks and wind cutting through. Stutter, bass fills every beat, or sparking cut layered under the bass for texture. House speed groove with deep sub drums, robotic whisper, power surge incoming. Delay heavy hi-hats and reverse sweeps. Faster tempo fuel with double time drums. Sawtooth lead with layered super saw chords. Glitchy bass breaks to keep crowd on edge. Ends with massive reverb hitting static. Low buzzing tone fades into silence. Voltage stabilized.
Sub-bass rumble with metallic effects. Filtered kicks and light hi-hats establish rhythm. Open kicks and light hi-hats establish rhythm. Open club crate activated. Rising synth pads build tension. Build up, wanna beats up. snarers with ascending sits. White noise risers and glitch fix increase energy. Short pause before the drop. Heavy distorted bass will wobble and growl layers. Stunty kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharps and stabs and glitch accentuate bass stutters add chaos and hype. Reduces to filter paths and sub-hum with the vocal race for impact. Minimal percussion with echoing effects. Percussion with echoing effects. Lace hits harder with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares drive momentum. Beats and bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass slam fading into static. That's the glitch up, rumble fading into silence. On deep sub-rumble fading into silence. Deep sub-bass roll with storm effects. Hi-hat set the rhythm. Drums were getting like hi-hat set the rhythm. Pulsing synth pads built anticipation. Razzing synth pads built anticipation. Rapid snare rolls and ascending sits. White noise risers and glitch effects increase tension. Short pause before the drop. Distorted basics with wobble and growl layers. Flashy kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharps and stabs and glitch effects eventuate energy. Layered bass stutters create chaos and hype. Beat reduces to filtered pads and sub-hum. Whisper voice for the storm. Version with aggression. The bass intensifies with layered modulation and growls. Hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass line fading into static. Pads and glitch effects slowly fade. Final vocal fade the bleat. Ends on deep sub-rumble fading into silence. Kicks and like hi-hat set the rhythm. Drums were kicks and like hi-hat set the rhythm. Pulsing synth pads built anticipation. Rapid snare rolls and ascending sits. White voice risers and glitch effects increase tension. Short pause before the drop. Distorted bass hits with wobble and growl layers. Punchy kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharps and stabs and glitch effects eventuate energy. Layered bass stutters create chaos and hype. Beat refuses to filtered pads and sub-hum. Whispered braces the storm. Aggression with aggression. This intensifies with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Leads and bends dynamically with distortion. Ends on deep sub-rumble fading into silence. Drop scope. Sub-bass rumble electrical critical effects. Filtered kicks and line hi-hat set the groove. Hardwired and engaged. Rising synth has built anticipation. Rapid snare rolls with ascending sets. White noise risers and some glitch extension. Face hardwired. glitch eventuate the energy. Layered bass stutters create chaos. Beat strips down to filtered pads and sub-hum whispered vocal system overload. Minimal percussion adds tension. Bass hits harder with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Release and bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass slam fading into static. Adds and glitch and fetch. Will fade into silence. Distorted bass hits layered with wobble and growl. And she kicks and cleared with wobble and growl. And she kicks and crisp snares drive the rhythm. Face hardwired. Face hardwired. Face hardwired. Distorted bass hits layered with wobble and growl. Whispered vocal system overload. Minimal percussion has tension. Face hardwired. With layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Leads and bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass slam fading into static. Pads and glitch fetch. Final vocal lead. Hardwired complete. Ends on deep sub-rumble fading to silence. Crackle and circle over filtered kicks. Like the pressure builds the groove. Shock drifting gauge, colliding synths across the airfield. After skills and high trumpets, signals with rising pitch. Drift, silence just before the drop. Distorted basics layered with wobble sub-bass. Punchy kicks and crisp snares drive the rhythm. Drops and snaps and glitch eventuate the energy. Layered bass stutters create chaos in the mix. Energy reduces to filtered pads and sub-bass hum. Whisper, feel the shock, feel the voice percussion. Let's make sure to drop two. Bass intensifies with complex rhythmic patterns. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Leads synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a powerful bass hit fading into static. Pads and glitch checks slowly fade. Final vocal plate. Bends in deep soap rumble. Sub-bass hum with electric crackle effects. Filtered kicks and light hi-hats set the groove. Rising synth pads build tension. Rapid snare rolls with ascending synths. White noise risers and glitch effects increase energy. Rampage, short pause before the drop. Heavy distorted bass with wobble and growl layers. Punchy kicks and crisp snares drive rhythm. Sharp synth stabs and glitch eventuate tensity. Layered bass stutters create chaos and hype. It reduces to filtered pads and sub-hum. Whispered vocal overload. Minimal percussion with echoing effects. Bass hits harder with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls. Syncopated snares drive momentum. Leads it fits dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass slam fading into static. As and glitch effects slowly fading into silence. hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares drawing momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion, momentum. Momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass slam, fading into static. Pads and glitch effects slowly fade, vinyl fading into silence. Kicks and light hi-hats establish rhythm. Substarter incoming. Atmospheric synth pads build tension. Build up one. Rapid snare rolls with ascending synths. White noise risers and glitch effects increasing teddy. Load, store, short, silence before the drop. Drop, drop. Fading into statics. Bats and glitch effects slowly fade into silence. Drop, 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 drop,
and bass hum with filter kicks, like hi-hats and percuts and a rolling groove. Hyper-storming, copper-storming coming. Rising synth paths create tension. Rapid snare rolls and ascending synth. White noise risers and glitch effects increase energy. Tone, silence just before the drop. Massive distorted bass hits with wobble modulation. Mixing crystal snares, drawing rhythm. Shots of snaps and glitch accentuate chaos. Bass layers green and full shaking impacts. Deep drops of filtered pads and sub-hum. Whispered focus tone intensifies. Minimal percussion with echoing flex builds suspense. Bass hits harder with complex rhythmic layers. Faster hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares dry momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with massive bass slam fading into static. Fading into silence.
Electric crackle, sub rumble, filtered kickbox in sync with pulsing bass drum. Rising to tune synth sweeps across stereo field. Turbo engaged. Rolls gaining speed with pitch automation. Right pluck ups cutting through the build. White noise riser and stuttered vocal chop. Shock. High silence before impact. Heavy punchy kick paired with thick distorted bass. Syncopated lead synth melody driving the rhythm. Sub hits later with glitchy percussive effects. Laser zap sounds panning left to right. Atmospheric paths with reverse cymbals. Minimal beat with side chain bass hum. A robotic whisper overload sequence. Filtered bass slowly fades, left him offline. Faint electric crackle to silence. Upward distant industrial effects. Filtered kick and hi-hat pattern gradually building. Atmospheric paths layer tension. Rapid snare rolls with rising pitch. Synth. White noise riser escalating the intensity. Drop reactor. Short silence before the bass hits with wobble modulate. Sharps and distorted bass hits with wobble modulation. Punchy kicks and crisp snares keep the rhythm dragging. Shots and stabs and glitch effects accentuate energy. Layered bass stutters add chaos and excitement. Beat strips down to pads and sub-bass hum. Whispered vocal charging, drop imminent. Minimal percussion fills and filtered effects create tension. Bass hits harder with layered growls and modulation. Passive hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares drive momentum lead. Synth bends and distorts dynamically. Ends with a powerful bass slam fading into static. Pads and glitch effects slowly fade. Final vocal line ends with deep sub rumble fading into silence. The snare rolls with rising pitch. Synth. Rapid 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 snare rolls with rising pitch. Synth.
Little city sounds with distant club bass thumps. Tin pads with reverb creating a late night vibe. Layered arcs pulsing like neon lights flickering on.
Power levels rising.
Kick drum tightens with hi-hat sync patterns. Electro meets synth with gradual distortion filter. Rising FX like electricity surging through wires.
Silence with front drop with vocal
Overload bass hits with sharp snare smacks. Sighting plucks synth pumping in rhythm with the kick. Low growl bass layers filling the subspace. Laser effects and short glitch fills between phrases. Melodic lead enters with dreamy chord progression. Filtered bass keeping the tension low but steady whispered vocal. Feel the night burn, burn. Bass becomes more distorted and aggressive. Extra percussion layers for high energy movements. Quick bends on synth relief for intensity. Bass are synced with flashing strokes feel. Pitch flows and fades into atmospheric paths. No sub hum, echoing vocal overload. Complete and pitching electric shut down effects. Control leaves synth with gradual loop to shut down effects. Rising effects like electricity surging through wires.
Silence before drop with vocal
Overload heavy bass hits with sharp snare smacks. Sighting plucks synth pumping in rhythm with the kick. Low growl bass layers filling the subspace. Laser effects and short glitch fills between phrases. Melodic lace hits with sharp snare smacks. Sidechain plucks synth pumping in rhythm with the kick. Low growl bass layers filling the subspace. Laser effects and short glitch fills between phrases. Melodic lead enters with dreamy chord progression. Filtered bass keeping the tension low but steady. Whispered vocal. Feel the night burn. Bass becomes more distorted and aggressive.
Smoke percussion layers for high energy movements. Quick pitch bends on synth and lead for intensity. Bass better sync with flashing strokes fill. Beat slows and fades into atmospheric paths. Non-stop harmony, echoing vocal overload. Complete electric sheet, electric shutdown effects.
Listen, thunder and swirling as fast in a turbulent atmosphere. Beats up, slowly fades in. Percussion and hi-hats establish rhythm. Vocal calls and the echoes with delay. With snare roll, the devices in the great tension. We flood the ends with quality distortion. One storm building high, heavy bass drop with wobble bass and aggressive growls. Henchy kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharp synth stabs and glitch effects add energy bursts. Layered bass hits intensify the impact. Energy pulls back through filtered pads and sub-bass drones. Whispered folk subsides, fades in and out. Minimal glitch percussion accents fill the space. Bass hits harder with complex rhythmic layers and push 'em. For hi-hat rolls and syncopates to push momentum. Sleeves bend and distort dynamically. Like force goes to electric atmosphere with reverbs and thunder effects. Frenzy ends, echo softly. Track closes on a deep bass rumble fading into silence. Hear wind effects with deep sub-rumble. Atmospheric pads swirling meet stereo panning. Faint kick pulse with low pass filter. Enter the vortex in deep pitch shifted tone. Rolling tom fills and snare builds gaining speed. Late synth riff emerges with phaser effects. White noise risers and glitch stabs. Sudden silence with vocal slam it. Massive distorted kick and sub-bass combo. Sawtooth synth chords punching through the mix. Bass growls layered with wobble modulation. Rapid hi-hat triplets to push the drive. Breaks into an airy melodic pad section. Sawtooth synth chords with me for the tail. Survive the pull. Reverse cymbals leading back into tension. Drop comes back harder with double time kick pattern. Heartbeat, light kick slowing down, ends with a low sub-tone, fading into silence. Light noise risers and glitch stabs. Sudden silence with vocals slam it. Bass bill of tom fills and snare builds gaining speed. Loud synth riff emerges with phaser effects. White noise risers and glitch stabs. Sudden silence with vocals slam it. Massive distorted kick and sub-bass combo. Sawtooth synth chords punching through the mix. Bass growls layered with wobble modulation. Rapid hi-hat triplets to push the drive. Racing distorted kick and sub-bass combo. Sawtooth synth chords punching through the mix. Rapid hi-hat triplets to push the drive. Racing hi-hat triplets to push the drive. Back harder with double time kick pattern. Drop comes back hard. Bright festival wars where we filter the kicks cut their backs in the background. The high bell go on the flat the front face. I step into the bills every phone to the bills. Every step after that's a white noise burst. Never been with percussion hits. Bass. High pitch drop, it's a bit with the control from bass. Little interview with percussion and it's bass. High pivot survived before the drop. Huge bass, it's punchy kicks. Short vocal bass that into the beat. The lid growls and odds to bring back heavy impacts. Great feels every flow buzz to keep the energy moving in. Hot sun beat with the people slides. It's not over. Low Build past to the sweepers on the bass. Double top snare patterns for extra hype. Brass lead lyrics, all synth chords. And so the final 8 bars with pitch rising bass growls. Ends on a hard snare hit and sub rumble. Crowd cheering fades out. Nobody dies down. Final shout, frenzy complete. Like hi-hats and distinct crowd effects. Atmosphere adds no tension. Rapid snare rolls with rising sins. Rapid snare rolls with increases intensity. Bass, 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 bass. Can be distorted bass with wobble and growl layers. Upbeat kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharps and steps, stabs and glitch effects punctuate the energy. Layered bass stutters add chaos. Beat produces the filter that's in sub hum. Whispered vocal, prepare for the next raid. Impression with glitch FX. Bass intensifies with layered calls and modulation. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Loosen the dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass and fading into static. Pads and glitch effects slowly fade. Final vocals. Ends on deep some rumble fading into silence. And a snare rolls with rising sins. White noise riser increases intensity. Bass, 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 bass. Short bars before the bass with wobble and growl layers. But cheap kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharps and snaps and glitch effects punctuate the energy. Layered bass stutters add chaos. They refuse to list the filter pads and sub hum. Whispered vulgar, prepare for the next raid. Minimal percussion with glitch X. Bass intensifies with layered crowds and modulation. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopation. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopation. Push momentum. Listen this dynamically with distortion. Flip from massive bass and fading into static. Final vocals. Final vocals. Follow major family fading. Final vocal fading. Find deeps of rumble fading into silence. Hands on deeps of rumble fading into silence. Final vocal fading into silence. Sub-bass rumble with distant earthquake effects. Light hi-hats and progressive clicks set the rhythm. Point incoming. Atmospheric pads rise subtly in the background. Rapid snare rolls and glitch foggy in the background. Rapid snare rolls and glitch modulate for tension. Vocal chops repeat rolling boom, boom. adds a low sub hum. Whispered vocal, reloading minimal percussion with echoing effects. Bass is hard but later growls and modulation. Faster hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Synth bends and warps dynamically. Hence with a power bass hit fading into static. Grabs and glitch effects slowly fade, final full complete. Ends on a low double rumble. Quake complete. and crowd effects, a muffled kick pulse, metallic claps and short reverb stabs. Deep sub-sweep leading into tension. We break the floor tonight. We break the floor tonight. Tails on synth stabs, white noise risers and reverse cymbals. Energy pauses just before the drop. Thunderous kick drum and rolling bass line, distorted brass stabs and sub sweeps. Crowd hyping vocal chops between bars. Quick glitch breaks every 16 buzz a surprise. Stripped down groove with low pass filter, minimal percussion and ambient pads. Ready for the break. Even heavier bass grooves than drop one. Lay it super sauce into detune leads. Kick drum punch, double for impact. Extended bass sustain at the final hit. We break the floor tonight. Repeating bass stabs fading into static. Foot breaker ends with a sharp snare crack. Layered snare rolls increasing in speed. Huge reverb tails on synth stabs. White noise risers and reverse cymbals. Energy pauses just before the drop. Thunderous kick drum and rolling bass line, distorted brass stabs and sub sweeps. Crowd hyping vocal chops between bars. Quick glitch breaks every 16 buzz a surprise. Stiff down groove, a low pass filter, minimal percussion and ambient pads. Ready for the break. Even heavier bass grooves than drop one. Lay a super sauce into detune leads. Kick drum punch, double for impact. Extended bass sustain at the final hit. Ready for the break. Ready for the break. Even heavier bass grooves than drop one. Lay it super sauce into detune leads. Kick drum punch, double for impact. Extended bass sustain at the final hit. Repeating bass stabs fading into static. Foot breaker ends with a sharp snare crack. Low sub bass rumble with a talent. Light percussion and filter kicks establish the groove. The snare rolls with ascending synths. White noise risers and clicks built tentative. Rubber snare rolls with ascending synths. White noise risers and clicks built into. Bet you hand-strucking bass with all layers. She kicks and crisp snares drive rhythm. Sharp symptoms have the energy. Layered bass stutter add chaos and hype. Yeah. Beat reduces to filter pads and some hum. Whispered vulgar, with the next wave. Minimal percussion with glitch effects. Bass intensifies with layered growls and modulation. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass hit fading into static. Pads and glitch to fade out. Final vocal bends on a deep sub rumble fading into silence. The snare rolls with ascending sits. White noise risers and clicks built into two. While the snare rolls with ascending sits. White noise risers and clicks built into heavy distorted bass with wobble layers. Bunchy kicks and crisp snares drive rhythm. Sharp sits stabs accent the energy. Layered bass stutters add chaos and hype. Beat reduces to filter patterns of hum. Whispered vocal, prepare for the next wave. Minimal percussion with glitch effects. Bass intensifies with layered growls and modulation. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass hit fading into static. Adds and glitch a fade out. Final vocal bends on a deep sub rumble fading into silence.
Deep sub bass rumble with flame crackle effects. Filtered kicks and light hi-hats establish rhythm. Commencing rising synth pads build tension. Rapid snare rolls with descending sits. White noise risers and glitch effects escalate energy. Drop wave, short silence before the drop. Distorted wobble bass with layered growls. Punchy kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharps and stabs and glitch effects accentuate intensity. Layered bass stirs add chaos and hype. Beat reduced to filter patterns of hum. Whispered vocal via minimal percussion with echoing effects. Bass intensifies with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Recent bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass hit fading into static. Binds and glitch effects slowly fade. Ends on deep sub rumble fading into silence. Risers and glitch effects escalate energy. Drop wave. Short silence before the drop. Distorted wobble bass with layered growls. Punchy kicks and crisp snares drive the groove. Sharps and stabs and glitch accentuate intensity. Layered bass stirs add chaos and hype. Beat reduced to filter patterns of hum. Whispered vocal via a heat. Minimal percussion with echoing effects. Bass intensifies with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Lead synth bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass hit fading into static. Bass intensifies with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Beats and bends dynamically with distortion. Ends with a massive bass hit fading into static. Bass intensifies with layered modulation and growls. Fast hi-hat rolls and syncopated snares push momentum. Short silence before the drop.
Filter of a kick and clap loop. Short blade for effects and watches marking the atmosphere. Line it up and let it burn. Solo and rumble foreshadowing the drop. Rapid fire snare build with pitch rise. Aggressive sucker synths play right. of the kick. Fading fire, crackling, echoing blaze vocal. Final impact hit with reverb tail.
Revving engine effects with double shift to create speed illusion. Sub rumble phasing with distorted raw bass accents. With percussion hits mimic mechanical pistons.
Fuel injected, rush engaged.
Rapid snarl syncopated with kick bursts. Rising synths with pitch bending like turbo wine. Layers of risers and white noise increase tension. Silence just before the drop with vocal, let's ride. Massive distorted bass hits with stutter effects. Punchy tight kick and snare patterns to keep up energy high. While the bass layer shifting between left and right stereo. Occasional engine rap samples integrated into rhythm. Minimal beat with filtered bass and ticking hi-hats. Glitchy synth fills, reverse sweeps, and metallic effects. Vocal whisper. Bass is harder with extra sub booster, chest rap and power. Triplet hi-hat rolls and syncopated percussion. Creeper gypsy laces bends like a high-speed drift. Additional distortion layers for a burnout effect. Bass strips down to bass and kick. Engine shutdown effects with low and fade. Final vocal ends with deep sub rumble into silence.
No rumbling sound as if a giant creature is approaching. Cinematic drums with metallic hits. Distant roar effects, layer noise bass swells. Dropzilla has awakened. Now loves rapid delta automation. Rising synth leap with gritty distortion. Monster growl chopped into ribbon snaps. Sudden stop tension. Distorted bass growls shaking the low end. Anti-kick and tight snare driving the rhythm. Stuttering what patterns with pitch dice. Randomized glitch fills between bars. Minimal beat with ambient jungle noises. Prepare for extinction. Long riser with sub pulses every beat. Even heavier bass with layered mid-range growls. Double time percussion for extra energy. Monster roar samples bass hits. With a long subtail where the first crash. Bass slowly tunes into its static. Final echo of a distant roar.